tomorrow, the European Parliament will hold a topical debate on the EU's role in the reconstruction of Gaza and on Israel's accountability under the international law, following a request by the S&D Group. What did you group push for this debate, and why is it particularly important to discuss these issues now? Do you believe debates like this can help advance concrete EU action on the ground?
The Socialists and Democrats group, which I belong to, suggested this topical debate on Gaza tomorrow because we want to raise awareness on the issue. Since the so-called ceasefire in Gaza, there is still death every day happening. Palestinians being killed, being deprived of their of food, of water, of basic vital needs, and we think that the EU still doesn't act to make it stop, to end the suffering of Palestinians. And we want to push for the EU to finally hold Israel accountable for its crimes.
What role should the European Union play in the reconstruction of Gaza, and what kind of reconstruction plan should it support? And from your perspective, what concrete steps should the EU take to support Palestinians, to counter the genocide in the Gaza Strip, and to address the expansion of illegal settlements and the system of apartheid in the West Bank?
The EU has a critical role to play. It has a historical responsibility in this conflict in the region. It is a major funder of both Palestinian Authority and UNRWA, for instance. So we want the EU to create a Gaza reconstruction facility that would be under the hand of Palestinian people, that would belong to Palestinian people and not to the so-called board of peace that was created by Donald Trump and which continue colonialism by depriving Palestinian people of their power, their political power. So we want this Gaza reconstruction facility to be funded by the EU for the Palestinian people, for the reconstruction of Gaza. This is a first point and a first demand that we have. Second, we want the EU to suspend the association agreement between Israel and the European Union. This association agreement has a human rights clause that is not respected by Israel for a long time now, and still the EU doesn't act to suspend this association agreement. So this is one of our key demands as well. And we want sanctions, European sanctions against the government of Israel. We want killings and terrorism to stop in the West Bank. The settlements and settlers are committed acts of terrorism against Palestinians in the West Bank. So the EU has means to act, but because it is divided, because you have member states that don't want the EU to act against Israel, we are doing nothing, and we are giving up our values. And it is very serious political issue. And we are here with the Socialists and Democrats group to make sure that the EU still defend the values we believe in, human rights and international law. So these are the key demands that we make.
Okay. You have previously described the Israeli government as genocidal. In your view, what instrument does the European Union have or should use to hold Israel accountable for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity under international law, including in relation to the ruling of the International Court of Justice and United Nations resolution?
Well, the person in the government of Israel or in the Israeli army that are responsible for the genocide happening in Gaza should be held accountable in front of the international justice, the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court. International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants against Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, who is the former Minister of Defense of Israel. And you have now Donald Trump sanctioning the International Criminal Court because of this arrest warrant. And the EU does nothing to protect International Criminal Court, to protect its judges that are being sanctioned because they are doing actually their job. So we demand, and I have been demanding for 1 year now, that the EU act to defend the International Criminal Court, it can do so. It can do so by activating what we call the blocking statute, which would block the effect of American sanctions against International Criminal Court, because without justice, there will be no peace. So we need justice to happen, and this is the way we can make Israeli criminals accountable for their crimes.
Okay. Why do you believe suspending the EU-Israel Association Agreement is necessary? The European Citizen Initiative's Justice for Palestine, which calls for the agreement's suspension, has now collected more than 1.2 million signatures. Do you expect this initiative to lead to concrete action by the European institution? And to what extent do you think citizens' demands will be taken into account?
Well, it is important to suspend the Israeli EU association agreement because this agreement covers all trade relations between EU and Israel, which are very important. So, suspending this agreement would put a lot of pressure on the Israeli government, and we need to put pressure on them because now they have this project to making the big Israel come true from the river to the sea, and to erase all possibility of a Palestinian state. And we believe with the Socialists and Democrats group in the two-state solution. In order to make it happen, we need to put pressure on Israeli government actually, and we have not been doing so. So we need some popular pressure to ask governments of Europe to take that decision, which might require unanimity to be taken. This is why this is taking so long, and why there is no result for now. But with popular pressure, we are hopeful that we can make the difference.
And last question. What do you think the European Union has not effectively acted yet to defend human rights and to counter the genocide in Gaza? What are the main political and institutional obstacles preventing the EU from acting more decisively? And finally, do you see any realistic prospects for a change in the EU's position into the coming months?
Well, Palestine, Israel is a difficult issue in Europe. Europe has a responsibility in the genocide of Jews during the Second World War. So the weight of this heavy memory of this crime and genocide is heavy, and it makes it difficult to be totally objective when we are witnessing Israeli crimes for some part of Europe. This is the explanation. It is a difficult history, and but it is our responsibility to stay true to our values and to see clear in the situation. We are not going to build the future for Palestinian and Israeli with Netanyahu or with Hamas. We need to put them both on the side, and to make a new generation of Palestinian and Israeli leaders that want to build peace with justice, that want to work together. And there are many of them who want to live side by side with equal rights, equal security and dignity. This is the dream we believe in, and we will never stop believing in it, because there is no other solution. We need those two people to live in the region with equal rights and in peace. This is possible, but to make it possible, we need the EU to act and to play its role for human rights and international law.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you.